Okay, good morning, children. So, in the yesterday's class, we have read about evaporation. I hope you have understood that. So, now what we are going to learn about is the next part, that is your boiling. Okay, so let's try to understand what is boiling. Okay, so when you take a liquid in a container, okay, suppose water is there in this container and we are putting fire from beneath and heating. So what we see, after some time bubble starts occurring over here, okay, and then slowly water starts to change into vapor. So what we can understand from here is that the process by which the whole amount of water starts changing into vapor, it is known as boiling. Okay, so at boiling point we know that the liquid converts to gas at a high rate. So unlike evaporation, if in evaporation we have seen that the liquid is changing to vapor but at a very slow rate, but in case of boiling the liquid changes into gases at a very high rate and a very high temperature. Okay, so this is the difference. Okay, so this indicates that many molecules from the entire volume of the liquid acquire required energy. So in evaporation what we have studied, that the molecules near the surface gain energy and they leave the surface, but here overall molecules of the liquid get energy because external heat we are giving, so they get energy and finally leave the surface slowly until the whole liquid dries up or changes into vapor. Okay, so therefore this method is known as boiling. Okay, so the boiling temperature of water is at 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, this is for water. For water it starts boiling at 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, and the amount of heat required to convert a unit mass of liquid into gas at its boiling point is known as latent heat of vaporization. Okay, so suppose we are just taking one unit. Suppose this unit has a mass of 1 kg. Okay, so the amount of heat that will be required in joules to boil out this much portion of water into vapor form from liquid form is known as latent heat of vaporization. Okay, this is known as latent heat of vaporization. So the amount of heat energy required to change 1 kg of water into the gaseous form is known as latent heat. Okay, so for water the latent heat of vaporization is 2256 kilojoules. Okay, kilojoule per kg. This is the latent heat for water, means this much heat energy will be required to change 1 kg of water into vapor form by boiling. Okay, so I guess you have understood till here. Now we will try to understand what is the link in between boiling and pressure. So let us see this. Suppose, let's take two cases over here. Suppose we are trying to boil something over high mountains. Okay, over high mountains. So we know that over high mountains the atmospheric pressure is very less. So therefore what happens? The water boils much more faster than it comes to 100 degrees Celsius. Means it will start boiling at around 80 degrees Celsius only. So therefore the food requires much longer time to get boiled or to get cooked at high temperatures. But unlike that, if we talk about the pressure cooker, you all have seen a pressure cooker, right? It looks somewhat like this. There is a lid over here and a nozzle cap over here. Okay, so what happens if we are boiling over here, because of the more pressure, because the water vapor cannot escape, so more pressure is getting created over here. So because of that, it boils out much more late. So therefore the food we are cooking, it cooks up very faster. Means in this case the water starts boiling at around 120 degrees Celsius or 150 degree Celsius. So therefore whatever food we have given over here, it takes much more less time in the pressure cooker. Okay, so this is the profit of using a pressure cooker. Okay, now let's try to learn about a new concept. Not new concept, you have read about this in earlier class also. That is known as thermal expansion. Okay, this is thermal expansion. So what is thermal expansion? Let us try to understand. First of all, let us try to, okay, I am explaining. Thermal expansion means whenever we heat a particular object, it expands in its size, and this phenomenon is called thermal expansion. Means the increase in volume or increase in length or increase in area of a particular thing, when we are applying heat to it, that process is known as thermal expansion. Okay, so there are basically three kinds of thermal expansion. The first one is known as linear expansion. Okay, linear expansion. So let's try to understand what is linear expansion. Suppose let's try to imagine there is an iron rod like this. Okay, and we are heating it from below. We have put fire on this. So after some time, what we will notice? We will notice that some part of it has, the length has been increased. Okay, so the increase in length depends upon three things. Okay, so three things means the first one is the original length. If this will be longer, the expansion also will be more. Okay, why? Just see this case. Suppose an iron rod is like this and one iron rod is like this. So if this will expand this much, this will expand a little more. So you can see this and this. It depends upon the size of the rod that we are using. Okay. Next is rise in temperature. This also I will show. Suppose there are two rods of same length, but one we are heating till 100 degrees Celsius and one we are heating to 200 degrees Celsius. If this will expand this much, then this will expand this much. Okay, so we have understood that temperature is an important thing for expansion. Alright. Okay, so now next is the capacity for the material to expand. Now different things are having different capacity to expand. Means it is not necessary that how much copper will expand, that much only iron also will expand, or that much only aluminum also will expand. So different metals have different tendency of expansion. Okay, so now let us try to understand about the coefficient of linear expansion. So this capacity of different metals to expand in different lengths according to their nature is known as coefficient of linear expansion. So how to find that? So let us say that this length from here to here is L1, that is the original length. Okay, and this is the, suppose this is, suppose from here to here we are taking, this length is suppose L2, that is increased length. So to find out the coefficient of linear expansion, it is represented by alpha. What we are doing? We are doing L2 minus L1, that is this length minus this length. So we will get this one, okay, divided by L1, that means the original length, into the change in temperature. Okay, so first suppose it was at 20 degrees Celsius, and now after heating, when it became long, it has become suppose 80 degrees Celsius. So T2 minus T1, that is 80 minus 20 we will do. Okay, so this formula is for coefficient of linear expansion. Okay, so when numerical is given regarding this, you just go through this. The same formula has been used, you can understand the numerical. Okay, now let's try to understand the next one, that is known as, next one is known as superficial expansion. What is superficial expansion? Suppose instead of taking a rod, what we are doing? We are taking a sheet of metal like this, and we are heating it from down. So then what will happen? After some time, we will see that after becoming hot, its area has been increased a little bit. Okay, so this increase in area, that is the new area minus the small area, is only known as superficial expansion. So when the expansion is in the area, it is known as superficial expansion. Okay, and the formula about this is not given about the coefficient of superficial expansion. Anyways, I am telling you the formula is represented by beta, the same kind formula, new area minus old area divided by old area into T2 minus T1. Okay, this is the formula for superficial expansion, to find out the coefficient of superficial expansion. Okay, and the last one is known as let's keep it down. Last one is called volume expansion. So from the name only, I guess you have understood what does this mean. Suppose there is a metallic cube like this, and we are heating it from down. So what will happen? After some time, the cube will increase in size. Okay, so the increase in size only is called volume expansion. Okay, so what is the formula of this? Let me write it down. It says, okay, gamma is equal to new volume minus old volume divided by old volume multiplied by T2 minus T1, that is the difference in temperature. Okay, this is gamma. Alright, so these are the three forms of expansion that we see, which is caused due to the temperature. Okay, when we heat a particular thing, three kinds of expansion occurs: linear, superficial and volume. Linear means increase in length, superficial means increase in area, and volume means increase in whole body, means whole volume. Okay, so some real life explanations and real life applications of this thermal expansion is given. So I am discussing one or two, rest of the things you will read. Okay, so many times you might have seen railway tracks. Okay, so there is a gap in between two railway tracks. Have you seen? A small gap is there in between two railway tracks. So this is why, because in the bright sunny days, when these iron rails become very hot, they tend to expand, and when they tend to expand, they take up this place. Okay, if this space will not be given, the two rails will get like this. Okay, so therefore it can cause a train to get derailed. Okay, so that is why it is necessary. Then the electric cables. Okay, the electric cables, let me explain to you this. The electric cables in between two poles, if you will see, suppose the electric poles are there like this. So electric poles are kept quite loosely. They are not tied like this. Okay, they are kept loosely. Why they are kept loosely? Because when the winter time, it will contract, so it will become a little bit more tight at that time. Okay, and in the summer time it becomes a little loose. So this is also an application of expansion. Okay, then same things are there. Breakage of glass, some examples are there which you will go through. Breakage of glass I am explaining. Now see, suppose there is a glass tumbler like this, thick glass tumbler. Okay, this is thick. So inside this, when we are pouring hot liquid, then what happens? The internal part of the glass becomes hot, but the outside one still remains cold. So therefore internally it expands, but outside it does not expand. So that is why the glass cracks. Okay, so these are some of the applications you can go through from the book and then start with the question answer. Okay, so I guess you have understood this chapter. Okay, thank you.